Hey guys, Trent from My Tree Journal here, coming at you with the second video log in the series that will cover my walk across Europe, 4,000 kilometers from Hoek van Holland to Istanbul for women's education in Nepal. Now you may be wondering why I am delivering this to you today from a train carriage. I'm supposed to be walking across Europe. The good news is this is a stationary train carriage. It's actually part of this incredible hostel called Base Camp, which is in Bonn in Germany. They've converted old train carriages like this and vintage caravans and all kinds of different vehicles and things like that into this incredible eclectic hostel. Huge shout out to my buddy Dave. He's a fellow This World Exists adventurer, has a lot of contacts in this area, and he hooked me up with some free nights here at this hostel. And also, of course, shout out to the team here at Base Camp who, by hosting me, are directly supporting the women's project in Nepal. So thank you very, very much for that, guys. These video logs will be coming out about every 2 weeks, and it's just me talking to the camera, letting you all know that I'm alive, and they will be structured ever so slightly. So I'm going to talk about my route so far, my biggest kind of highlights and achievements on the walk so far, the biggest challenges that I've had, and then also the route that I'm going to loosely follow for the next couple of weeks until the next video log. I'll also do a big shout out to all the hosts that I've had along the way, and of course the fantastic donors that we've had who have been donating to the Women's Project. So first of all, starting with the route that I've taken so far. So my first day was from Hoek van Holland, which is kind of the historical entrance into continental Europe. Nowadays it's this huge kind of boring industrial port, and my first day was a walk in the rain, unfortunately, to my first stop in Rotterdam. Rotterdam is a massive city in the Netherlands that was completely destroyed in World War II, so it's very modern. There's a lot of glass, a lot of concrete, nothing particularly interesting to look at, but I did have a fantastic host there named Ricky. He's from Suriname, and he originally, but he's lived in the Netherlands for many years, and he drives trams around the city, so he's super knowledgeable about the city. He was a really cool guy, so that was awesome. Let me just bring up my route here. After that, I walked to Dordrecht, beautiful little historic city, and I walked to Almkerk, which is a small village in the countryside. Then I walked to Den Bosch, and I had a rest day there in Den Bosch because I had the pleasure of speaking to 2 classes at a college in Den Bosch where people are studying, or the students I should say, are studying social work. So the Nepal Women's Education Project was relevant to their interests, and it was really great to interact with the young people there. They were super interested in what I was doing, and they even expressed an interest in coming and volunteering in Nepal in the future. So that was a huge win. After that, I did a long day, my longest day so far. It was 38 kilometers from Den Bosch to Eindhoven, which was pretty tiring, but I got through it. Then from Eindhoven I went to Weert, and then to Roermond. And in Roermond I had this incredible experience where my couchsurfing host organised a journalist to come and meet me, and I actually got like a half-a-page article in the Limburger newspaper, which is kind of the newspaper for that province of the Netherlands. So that was super awesome. Got some publicity for the walk, got a few donations, and I've never been in a newspaper, so that was kind of cool. From there I walked to Doveren, which is a small village over the border in Germany. So that was country number 1 finished, into country number 2, which was an awesome milestone. After that I walked to Jülich, and I had a rest day there as well after those few long days that I did through the Netherlands. Stayed with an awesome host, Dilara, who's actually from Turkey, so that was a really cool bit of connection between the beginning of my walk and what will eventually be the end in Istanbul itself. After my rest day I walked to another small village called Növenich. I should also mention that the last couple of days were walking along the Ruhr River, which was really beautiful. It was a hiking trail, beautiful springtime scenery, really enjoyed it. So then, after Növenich, I walked to Bornheim, which is really close to Bonn. Had this awesome host who lives in like a cabin in the woods, so that was super interesting. And then after that, I came down here, very short day, just a couple of hours, to Bonn, where I am now. So having a few days rest here, because the next bit of my hike is going to be super interesting and also very challenging, so I'm looking forward to that. The biggest highlights so far, I think, for me have been the couchsurfing hosts, definitely. I expect that I'll be having a lot of couchsurfing hosts between here and Istanbul. Couchsurfing is my absolute favourite way to travel. If you haven't couchsurfed before, please do it. If you're not travelling, please host couchsurfers. It is an incredible community of people. Every single person I've interacted with through couchsurfing, and that is hundreds of people, are fabulous. Super open-minded, super chilled out, really, really cool people. So give it a go, couchsurfing.org. It's an awesome system. It takes the money out of accommodation as well, and it's all about sharing space with each other, kind of breaking down borders, opening up the world, being accepting and tolerant and open-minded. It's awesome. Really, really recommend it. All my hosts have been really cool, really generous. A lot of my hosts have even donated to the women's school, which, on top of the fact that they let me stay at their house for free, just means that they're massively generous people. So that's been great. Another highlight has been the nature, of course, which will continue to be a highlight. There hasn't been much kind of spectacular landscapes so far because the Netherlands is like totally flat. But I did have some really awesome moments. Like, there was this time where I crossed the border from one province in the Netherlands to the other, and there was this huge deer park, and I wasn't sure if I was supposed to be there because I think it was actually a deer farm. But anyway, I was walking across this deer park, really kind of dramatic, windswept landscape, lots of swamps and marshes and things, and there were these huge, hairy, brown horses just running around everywhere. It felt like they were wild horses. They didn't have any tags on them or anything like that. They were just running free, and there was also huge groups of deer running through the marshes, kicking up the water, which was kind of spraying in the late afternoon sunlight that was filtering through all the droplets in the air, and there was all these huge water birds being disturbed by the deer running past that were kind of flying through the air and across the sky. So, you know, these kinds of things happen every single day on the walk, which is incredible, and it's something I'm really grateful for. And it's something that's going to keep me interested in keeping walking again and again every single day for the next, 6 or 7 or more months until I get to Istanbul. So it's moments like that that I'll always remember, and it's moments like that that you can only get in nature. And I really appreciate the fact that I get to spend 8 or 9 hours a day outside every single day for most of this year, because I like being outside. It's awesome. Challenge-wise, the biggest challenge has been my body adapting to walking 30 kilometers a day. So originally it was kind of my whole body was just hurting, which is to be expected when you start a hike. After a few days, I got used to it, and my shin started hurting. So I was a bit worried about that, because I read a book about a guy who did the same walk from Hoek van Holland to Istanbul, and his shins were messed up, and he had to take 3 weeks off. Luckily, I've got walking sticks, which helps a lot. And then I bought some compression socks or compression sleeves for my shins, and now the shin pain is totally gone, so that's awesome. Next, however, my feet started really hurting, so every day towards the end of my hike, I was in almost unbearable pain from the front kind of balls of my feet and also the bone above the arch of my foot. And I thought to myself, okay, obviously, like, it's because it's been primarily hard surfaces so far. It's been flat surfaces so far, which is actually harder on certain parts of the body than going up and down hills, because when you go up and down hills a lot, you're using like different muscles and different joints depending on whether you're going up or down or flat or sideways or whatever. But if you're just doing the same step again and again and again and again, 40, 50,000 times a day, it really starts wearing down certain parts of your body. So what I've done to remedy that is I've bought some orthotic insoles for my shoes, which has given me really good arch support because I have super high arches in my feet, and I'm going to be testing them out over the next 3 weeks, and hopefully that'll solve the problem. But other than those two kind of small physical challenges, which I assume my body will just kind of get over in time, everything's been awesome. It's been super fun. I love just hiking along, being mindful of my surroundings. If I don't feel like being mindful, like if I'm on a road or something, which thankfully has been rare, I just listen to music and sing or listen to podcasts or whatever. So it's been super awesome, and I'm really grateful for this entire experience. It's going to be a wonderful year, and it's incredible how much joy you can derive from something so simple as walking and staying with strangers in their houses. It's an incredibly cheap way to travel. It's incredibly enriching. It's been a wonderful cultural experience and a wonderful natural experience so far, and I think it's just going to get better. So those are the highlights and the challenges. Next up, talking about my route for the next couple of weeks. From Bonn, there's actually a hiking trail called the Rheinsteig, which starts here, and as the name implies, it follows the mighty Rhine River, heading south through Germany, through kind of the heartland of West Germany, and it's 320 kilometers long. If you draw a straight line from one point to the other on the map, it's kind of less than half that distance, or around half that distance, but because it goes up and down and around so many different places, because there's so many castles and little towns to explore, there's vineyards, forests, and a lot of hills. Apparently there's a lot of ups and downs on this hike, which I'm super excited for, because it will remind me of being in the Himalayas to some extent, I guess. So yeah, 320 kilometers. I'm doing the Rheinsteig, and I'm going to try to knock it out without having any rest days. I'm just going to walk every single day. The days probably won't be as long as they have been. I've kind of been walking for anywhere between like 5 and 9 hours a day, and it's going to be way more interesting scenery. I'm going to be avoiding the roads a lot, which is going to be awesome. So super excited for the Rheinsteig. It starts here in Bonn and it finishes in Wiesbaden, which is another town on the Rhine, south from here. Thankfully, I've already lined up a whole bunch of couch surfing hosts for this, so I'll mostly be couch surfing. Apparently you can sleep in some of the ruined castles, which sounds awesome, of course. There's these beautiful forests and things that I can camp in if I need to, so I'm super excited for this next stage of the walk and looking forward to sharing it with you all. So that's what I'll be up to the next couple of weeks. If you want to know where I am, I'm somewhere on the Rheinsteig, so super pumped for that. Shout outs to my awesome couch surfing hosts who I mentioned before: Ricky, Millet and Ralph, Anton, Ilya, Bert, Anouk, Christoph, Ilka, Dilara, Katrin, Heinrich, and of course the team here at Basecamp Bonn. Fantastic hosts, everyone's been super cool, and by keeping me alive, you're directly supporting the Women's Project in Nepal, so thank you so much guys, you're absolute legends. Another huge shout out to all the people who've donated so far to the Women's Project in Nepal via the website thisworldexists.org/walk. We've just passed the $5,000 mark thanks to all of you, and that is a huge milestone. We still have a really long way to go if we're going to get the $30,000 that is required to fully rebuild the women's school. But we're on our way, so there's too many donors to list in this video, but all of the people who've donated to the Women's Project, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate it, and we've just had a team from This World Exists starting work on the women's school in Nepal, and they've told me that the women there and all of the local community members are extremely grateful for all of your donations, so thank you so much it's just incredible. So if you're passionate about women's rights, women's equality, education in developing countries, disaster relief, poverty alleviation, this project encompasses all of those issues, and it's going to create positive outcomes in all of those areas when the project's complete. So if you're into all of those things and you want to help some vulnerable, disadvantaged people in one of the poorest countries in the world, please donate at thisworldexists.org/walk. I'll put the link in the description of this video. I'm also going to put all the social media links for myself and for This World Exists in the link for this video, in the description rather. And yeah, please keep in touch. Feel free to contact me at any point, and wish me luck for the next couple of weeks on my hike as I make my way all the way across Europe from Hoek van Holland to Istanbul. So signing out from Bonn. Thanks very much guys.